Ben-Yisrael here again of 876herbs.com, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Herbally Speaking. So in today's video we're going to be finishing up a series that we began some time ago. That is basically how to identify herbs in the wild, how to prepare it, and in today's video I'm going to show you exactly how to combine it. So today I'm going to be using a part of the recipe for our Phyto Carcin Solution. That is the product that we promote, the herbal product that we promote for dealing with various types of cancer. So for that I'm going to be using part of the ingredient. We're using some dried moringa. We're going to be using some soursop bark. We're going to be using some combination of guinea hen root and leaves. And we're also going to be using some fever grass. So this is just maybe 4 out of the 9 different herbs that are combined to make our Phyto Carcin Solution. That is our herbal formulation for persons who have different types of cancers. Of course, you can get each of these herbs on our website at 876herbs.com, or you can get the complete formulation on our website at hallelujahlifestyle.com. Alright, so now that we have dried, so these herbs were all chopped and dried, carefully dried, to ensure that about 95% of the moisture is out. Now you want to put together your formulation. So what you need to do is, based on your working knowledge of the herb, you need to now determine which of these herbs, which of the characteristic of a particular herb you are going to need in dominant amount and which you are going to need in recessive amount. Once you work that out, then you are going to put together your formulation. So as I said, that this formulation is a formulation of about 9 different herbs, and in that particular formulation we use 2 parts of our guinea hen. So 2 parts would be a ratio. So whether if it's 2 pounds of this you're using, then you'd be using 1 pound or 2 pounds of the other parts respectively, once you have established your ratio. So in this instance we're going to be using 2 parts of our guinea hen and guinea hen root and leaves. So what we need to do now is to weigh out 2 parts. So I'm gonna, normally you would have gotten your scale out. So this is a scale, it's a gram scale you can get on Amazon, and I'll try to add a link where you can access that as well. I'm also using my grinder, and if you don't have a grinder, you can use a blender or a magic bullet. Any blending device can be used. You want to ensure that, however, it is properly dried out. So you want to ensure that there is absolutely no moisture, because once there is moisture, then basically that can help to breed mold. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to weigh out my solution or my herbs. So in this example, let me just turn it on. Say it's at 0, and I'm going to add my first part herbs. So I'm adding to 16 grams, 20 grams. So I'm using 20 grams of guinea hen root and leaves in this demonstration, which means that the ratio, it would have been 20 grams of guinea hen root and leaves, and for the other herbs I'm going to be using 10 grams. All right, again, this is just for demonstration. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add that to my grinder. The whole purpose is to get the herb to a dosageable form. As it relates to herbs and making herbal formulation, what you want, there are a number of things that affects the consistency and the effectiveness of a herb. Some of the factors include the season in which the herb was harvested, the type of soil that the herb was planted on, the variety of the herb that was used, because there are various variety of most herbs. Some are more stronger than some, even though they are wild, and some soil types are far more nutritious than other soil types. So those are variables that you don't have control over. What you do have control over, though, is the size of the grounded solution. So the finer the solution is, the more dense it is. And so the finer it is, basically you're using a lot more herbs. Just to prepare this, for example, just to get this amount of herbs, we would have cut up maybe about 2 huge bags of herbs. And if we were to blend all of this, it maybe would come down to about half bag. So in half bag of this, we would have had about 2 bags of herbs that was just harvested. So even though the particles are smaller, it is more dense, hence more powerful. So what we want to do is that we want to get the herb into a state where it is measurable, and once you can measure, then you can establish some form of consistency. So I've added my herbs, and I said that this is a Sutek. This is a Sutek device. It holds the capacity to hold about 1,000 grams of herbs. It has a wattage of 3,000 watts. It's very, very powerful, and it's a rotation speed of about 28,000 RPM per minute. So it's a very powerful grinder. And of course, if I would encourage anyone to get one of these to ensure that they get high quality. So I'm going to go ahead, and when you're using something like this, you want to ensure that it's plugged out while you're loading it. Just plug it in, securely lock the lid, and then I'm going to turn it on. This grinder runs for about 5 minutes automatically, and then it's turned off. Or of course, you can control the on and off switch. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and run it for about 3 minutes. Alright, so I didn't have to run it for about 2 to 3 minutes, because what I'm actually grinding is already finely chopped leaves and roots. If it was bark like what I'm going to be doing in a little while, then I may run it a little longer. Of course, once I've grounded this, you want to get it as quick out of the grinder as possible, because it would have generated some amount of heat. It's a small amount of heat. However, if you leave it in there long enough, then what is going to happen is that heat is going to produce steam or moisture. Alright, so I finished. You want to go ahead and plug it out, and then I'm going to throw it out. In the plate. So it's finely chopped, and of course I can mince this herb to powder if I wanted to make capsules. Right? I could grind it to a powder so that I could make a capsule from this. And remember, you don't have to have a device like this to do what I'm doing. Pretty much any blender will do. Or magic bullet, or any high-speed blender that you have. So I have created my guinea hen grounded herbs. Now I'm going to add a soursop bark. Soursop and guinea hen are two very powerful herbs as it relates to fighting cancer. These two herbs have been found to destroy cancer cells on contact. So I wanted to ensure that I had more of this herb in my formulation. So now I need to add 20 grams. So remember it's a 2 to 1, 1 and the other herbs ratio. So now I'm going to add my soursop bark. Alright, so all our herbs you can get on our website in bulk or in retail form at 876herbs.com. Alright, so the herb is now inside, safely secured inside the grinder. The lid is safely secure, and you're going to go ahead now and grind the soursop bark, or the graviola bark as some persons may know it. So we finished grinding our graviola bark. Now we're going to get that out of the grinder. Remember, each time you use it to unplug it. If you're using a blender, you also want to unplug it just the same, just to be on the safe side. You don't want to use a device or put your hand into anything while it is plugged in. Alright? Alright, so my graviola is somewhat chopped, but it could be a bit finer, so I'm going to run it a little bit more. Run it. What happens is that it's not chopping as fine as it should because there's so much space in the grinder. If I put in a little bit more to take up the space, then it would have been more finely chopped. But I'm going to run it again. That should be okay. Alright, so the herb is complete blending. So we're going to take that out now. Alright, so all the graviola bark is out. Alright, so much more finely grounded. Of course, when we add more to the grind, as I said, we would have gotten more. So we've gotten the guinea hen out of the way. We're going to add the moringa, and for the sake of time, I'm just going to add, because I'm just going to weigh out the moringa. Moringa is a nutritional herb, and so it adds to the formulation tons of nutrients. As some of you may know, this maybe is one of the most densely nourishable herb on the planet, and you want to provide the body with lots of nutrients. So we're going to be adding 1 10 gram of this. 10 gram, right? 10 gram of moringa. This is moringa root, moringa bark, or moringa stem and leaves. And then we're going to be adding 10 parts of lemongrass, or what some persons call fever grass. 10 grams. So we're adding 10 grams of lemongrass, and then we're going to run the grinder again to get this grounded out. And of course, we're going to be adding all of these herbs together. We're going to be combining all these herbs together. Remember, this is just 4 out of the 9 most powerful herbs that we have combined to make this what we call Phyto Carcin Solution. It's available on our website at HerballySpeakingDoctor.com. That's the finished formulated product. Or you can get the individual ingredient in bulk or in retail form on our 876herbs.com website. All right, so we're going to run it again. So, we are going to now turn this off. A lot of persons ask me if I offer any form of training, and by the time this video comes out, we would have one of our programs no, it wouldn't have. We do have training. We have a workshop coming up this August. That's August of 2019, entitled Herb Walk 2019. It is the closest we come to doing any form of training. So for 1 week, we're going to be doing a herb walk. And we are also going to be showing persons how to do their own formulation, how to identify herbs in the wild, as well as how to do their own formulation. It's one intensive week that you wouldn't want to miss. One intensive week, August 1st to the 7th. For more information, you can go to our 876herbs.com website. It includes accommodation. We have a special going, believe me. What we're going to be teaching persons, we're going to be teaching persons how to make their own colloidal silver machine. And a matter of fact, for one of the options that we have, we're going to be giving persons their own colloidal silver machine. If you don't know what colloidal silver is, you need to check it out. So here we have the other two, and what we would have done is basically add the different herbs. Of course, this would have been in a bowl where we can pretty much mix in all the other herbs. Remember, this is only 4 out of the 9 most powerful cancer-fighting herbs we combine to help persons who have cancer, along with the different therapies that we offer. So this is just the tea that they will be taking during their therapy. So there we have a combination of 4 out of the 9 most powerful cancer-fighting herbs that we use to combat a variety of cancer, cancer of the testes and womb cancer and so on and so forth. Also, we now have at the Hallelujah Lifestyle Wellness Center, we have the facility for persons to come so that we can show them how they can better take care of themselves. Alright, so that's basically the video for today. I hope that this video was of help to you. I hope that you will take advantage of our upcoming herb walk / training. Some of what I will be offering, I'm not going to talk publicly because of what's happening and because of how persons in our field, our lives are coming on the line. But believe me, if you're serious about learning herbs, if you're serious about getting into it, then you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this herb walk coming up, Herb Walk 2019. It's going to be packed with information. It's going to be packed with training. Again, I don't want to share everything publicly. When you call, then I'll give you more insight as to some of what we'll be doing in the training. So I hope this video was of help to you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. And until our next video, this is Dr. Ben-Yisrael saying that your health is your responsibility. And the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. Bye-bye.